Hi, and welcome to the Greener Good Organic Eats. I'm your host today, Sean Lowcock, and we're here with Sarah Rollerkite.
Great to be here.
Nice to see you again. So today, what are we making?
Today we're making black bean veggie burgers.
Black bean veggie burgers, fabulous. Okay.
So in order to make our black bean veggie burgers, of course, we're gonna need some black beans.
Okay.
So I've gone ahead and I've pre-rinsed these black beans.
Now I have a quick question for you. Why would we rinse the beans ahead of time?
A couple of reasons. We're going to rinse the beans so that we remove any of the excess salt and also to make sure that the beans have a great consistency for our burgers.
So if we didn't rinse the beans, they would be kind of soggy.
Yeah, just really
not...
wouldn't have that same flavor that
Okay.
we're looking for in this type of recipe.
Okay, great.
So go on ahead and, if you could, dump the beans right onto our baking sheet. And I've done a couple layers of paper towels there.
Okay.
And that's going to help soak up the excess water.
So I'll spread these out a little bit maybe, so they kind of dry a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll just leave these for now?
We sure will. So we're
Okay.
going to let those sit for about 15 minutes.
Fair enough.
While the beans are starting to dry out, we're going to get started on our flaxseed and water combination.
Okay.
And this is going to serve essentially as an egg replacer.
So this makes it truly a vegan recipe then?
Yes.
Okay.
So the egg replacer is comprised of 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed meal.
Okay. Now I just said, and this is just out of interest, we use the flaxseed. Could you use different seeds, or flaxseed just seems, in your experience, flaxseed is the way to
You
go?
could possibly use chia seed, but definitely flaxseed is primarily the best binding agent that we can think of.
Okay, great.
And we're also going to add 6 tablespoons of water.
Okay.
So we're going to just combine that in.
Okay.
And after we've done this, we're going to put it in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes.
And we do that to...
This is going to help the flax meal and the water start to soak in together.
And bind a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now while you're doing that, did you want me to start chopping, or should we discuss what vegetables we're using today?
So today we are going to be using 4 green onions
Okay.
and a small handful of fresh cilantro.
Now both of these you can grow in your garden. So the beauty of living here in the Pacific Northwest is these are readily available for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I'm first going to get started with the green onions.
Mm-hmm.
For this recipe, we are only going to be using the middle section, but if you wanted to save the extra green leafy part for another time, you certainly could.
Okay, so you could use that, the extra darker green parts of the green onion you could save for like a soup mix or something like that.
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly right.
Okay,
So
that's
we're
good
just
to
kind
know.
of do equal, clean cuts.
All right,
And then we're going to put this aside.
fair enough.
And we're going to take our green onions and we're going to put them into our mixing bowl. Now, while I do that, you can get started on chopping the cilantro. And again, you're
Okay.
going to want to chop that cilantro pretty finely because we are going to want to make sure that there's no big cilantro chunks in our black bean burgers.
Okay, and we're going to use, with the cilantro, we're going to use the stems as well.
We're just going to use the leaves for this project.
So you want me to stop
Yes,
once I
please
get down
stop once you get down
to the stems.
the stems.
Okay, so that's fair enough.
And so that's great. So go ahead and chop that just a little bit more finely.
Sure, and we'll compost a lot of the excess green material. We don't want to waste it.
Absolutely.
Okay. My mom taught me how to chop.
That's about how I chop too. I tend to make a really big mess of things though.
Never afraid. I think a good kitchen is a messy kitchen. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so now we're just going to scoop that right into our mixing bowl.
Okay. And can we add, if we wanted to add other vegetables, could we, or?
Sure, I mean, I don't see why not. I think
Okay,
that's
so you can get creative.
Yeah, I think that some really finely diced carrots could be a nice touch to
There
this.
you go. Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll grab our flax mixture from the refrigerator.
Okay, fair enough. It's good to know that you can add different vegetables, so if you find a taste that really resonates with you, you can certainly add it to it and sort of create these burgers to your own taste, which is always not a bad idea.
So our flax
Oh,
has
I can see how the
been
consistency
able
has
to,
changed.
yeah.
Ah. So that's an important step not to miss, to make sure you make that this goes in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Okay.
Right. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour. This is going to help bind our flax seed mixture and the flour together to create a little bit of a paste.
Okay. So, and can you use different types of flour? So I know that there's a variety of different flours out there.
You know, I haven't experimented with other types of flours, but I think it would be possible.
Okay. Because essentially what we're trying to do here, and I can see from this point that you're trying to make a paste.
Yes.
Right. So I imagine a different type of flour would be fine.
Sure.
Okay.
Most types of flours should be okay.
Fair enough.
Some of them probably wouldn't work as well, and they might compromise the taste in addition to that.
Right. So I guess one thing to keep in mind with this recipe is you can experiment and you can try different things, and if something doesn't work, you can always try it again. I don't think you can ever go wrong.
Those are the kinds of recipes I like best.
I think those are the ones that work best with me.
All right, so our next thing that we're going to do is we are going to combine our now flax paste
Okay.
into our herb mixture.
Fair enough.
So to do that, we're just gonna dump it all right in there,
Okay.
best we can.
Now, how many burgers will this amount that you've measured
This should
make?
make about 6 standard size burgers.
Okay.
Okay, now Sean, I'm gonna have you just start to combine the herbs and our flax paste together.
Okay. I'll do that. Maybe show the people at home what it's supposed to look like.
And now while you're doing that, I'm going to start preparing our spices. So today we are using 1 teaspoon of cumin.
Okay.
So we're going to dump that in there. Go ahead and give
Keep
that
mixing.
a mix. Absolutely.
Okay.
Next, we're going to add half a teaspoon of coriander.
All right. Hopefully you at home can see this. Certainly smells great.
Now we're going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to use roughly a 1/4 teaspoon of each.
Okay. And I know that all the different fancy salts are kind of the rage right now. So you can even get creative with different types of salts if you wanted.
Now, here's the next part. We're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of hot sauce.
Okay, I'm not sure if my kids would go for that at home, but
Well, you'll find that the hot sauce really combines very nicely and it doesn't have an overwhelming taste to it. But if your kids or if other family members are a little bit more sensitive to the spice, you can reduce it to half a teaspoon or not at all. So we're going to put in just a few shakes there.
So again, I know I've brought this point up a couple of times, but it appears that you can get really creative with this recipe.
Yes, this really is a foundation, and then you can use your imagination going forward for anything else.
And it's something you can do with your kids. I'm sure I know my kids would love to get involved in making something like this. So this is certainly something you can involve the whole family in.
All right,
How's that look?
that's looking pretty good.
Okay.
So our next step is to work on our beans.
Right. Okay. So
our beans have had a little bit of time now to soak into those paper towels and remove the excess water.
Right.
So now we're going to dump all of those beans right into a food processor or a fancy blender if you have one.
Okay. So you want me to take a stab at dumping these?
Yes.
All right. Hopefully I can do this without making a mess.
There we go. Perfect.
And I think we're good.
Excellent job.
All right.
Next, I have.
Now, can we remove, do we need this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and
We can get rid
put
of
that
this?
away.
All right. So what's next?
Next, we have half a cup of panko breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And we're going to dump that right into our beans. Now, if you could, we're going to just put the lid on. Make
This
sure
is
it's nice and tight.
This is a fancy.
That's looking good.
Look, and the power's on. And
Perfect. And now we're going to pulse the panko breadcrumbs and the black beans together for about 5-6 pulses.
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right.
One more. How's that look?
That's looking pretty good. So we'll take this off.
I'll help you out there.
Okay, and careful with this guy here.
You've worked with this particular blender before.
I have. It is very sharp, so I'm just going to go put this one away.
Right. So this is something you need to be aware of if you're doing this with your kids, especially if you've got young kids. You know, you do the blending. Don't let your children do the blending.
So we're going to now take our blender and we're going to move it back over here.
Okay.
Just going to give it just another little mixture. The pulsing enabled your beans to combine with the panko ever so slightly. I really like having the combination of some whole beans and some a little bit more pushed together.
So the idea is to not necessarily ground it into a paste itself. You're just kind of wanting to mush up some of the beans, but some of them not.
Right.
And again, it adds that consistency or that difference in consistency when you're eating the patty.
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly right. So now we're going to dump the beans into our spices.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll give that a little mix here. And then we'll just keep on adding till we've got all of our beans. They kind of got a little stuck there at the bottom.
Right. This is sometimes you can use a spoon if your spatula's not working. Always an extra pair of hands is never a bad idea.
All right.
And we wouldn't want to add any moisture to this.
Nope, not any more than just that hot sauce that
Okay.
you've added in.
Right.
We're going to combine very well, so it's all combined together.
Okay. So we're not trying to create a mush here. We're just trying to combine the different ingredients as much as we can. You're going to have a variance. It's okay to have whole beans in here as well as some mushed up beans.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
It smells absolutely incredible.
Yeah, you can kind of smell that. I think what you're smelling there is the cilantro, which really is this pungent,
Yeah.
and maybe the cumin as well. All right, so now that that has been combined,
Okay.
what we're going to do is we're going to cover it and we're going to place it in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour, but up to 24 hours.
Okay. So you could keep this in the fridge for, you said up to 24 hours. Can you keep it for longer? Can you freeze your mixture?
You wouldn't probably want to freeze it just yet.
Okay.
Now, I already have prepared in advance some of the same recipe that I've had chilling in the fridge for about 12 hours.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to split this into about 6 patties.
Okay.
So are your hands clean?
My hands are clean.
All right, I'm going to ask you to clump these together into about 6 patties. And while you do that, I'm going to start warming up the stove.
Okay. I did not know I was going to be doing this. I do like getting my hands dirty. So you're saying 6 equal patties
Yeah.
or balls, I guess.
Yeah, so you're gonna make some balls, and then after they've been balled, you're going to give them a little bit of a flattening touch.
Okay.
I'm also going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil into our pan as that's warming up.
Okay. At home, whenever we're making hamburgers or anything like that, I'm the one in charge of this step, balling up the whatever we're doing. And we do make veggie burgers at home, and it's interesting because we use a different recipe, but I must say I think I'm going to try yours.
Great. All right, how are those looking? And if it ends up being more than 6 or a little bit less, then that's totally fine.
Well, I've got different sizes here, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. If you've got, you know, smaller mouths at home, they maybe want a smaller burger, and people with big mouths like mine will have the bigger ones. So there, I've got 6 different ones. I'm gonna have to rinse my hands off.
So the other next step is that now that you've got these nice balls, we're gonna need to make them into patties.
Okay.
So to do that, we're just gonna give them a nice...
While my hands are dirty, I might as well.
Yeah, you can go help
Okay.
us too. All right.
So you just make them into like a flat patty.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Now, do you want the same thickness all the way through?
Yes, absolutely. That's really going to help the burgers cook consistently.
Okay.
Make sure all of them are done at the same time.
Okay. So even if it's as long as the burgers are about the same thickness, even if they're smaller, they're going to cook the same.
Yes.
At the same speed.
They should.
Okay. All right. I think we're almost done here.
I'm just going to fix this one a little bit more.
Did I not do a very good job
I
there?
think it had some fingerprints in it. All right.
I was marking it as my own.
I'll save that one for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And here's number 6.
Great. So let's see how our oil is doing and if it's ready. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Now I'm going to rinse my hands, if that's okay.
Ooh, that does look like it's hot. All right.
While we're doing this,
So we're going to,
and it looks really hot.
it does look pretty hot. So we're going to take our burgers here.
Uh-huh.
I've got it on medium. This feels a little bit hotter, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to cook for about 5 minutes, and we'll just kind of check it after a few minutes to see how it's doing.
Now, can you use different types of oil to
You
cook?
could probably
You can
use
use
a vegetable
a-
oil
some sort of
if you
vegetable oil.
wanted something like that as well. Yes.
Right. Now, can you, I know when some people are making burgers and what have you, can you add, if you had a certain flavor, can you add on top while they're cooking?
Sure, we can try that.
So again, you can be very creative.
Great. So let's go ahead and let those sit for a little bit. And we're going to take a moment and prepare for our special sauce and also chop up some avocado and tomato for our burgers.
Okay. And how long do the burgers take to cook?
So they're going to cook about 5 minutes on the first side.
Okay.
And then we're going to flip them and they'll cook an additional 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So
So I'll keep an eye on those, and while we're
I think I'm going to need to
while we're cooking, we're going to make. You said we're going to make our sriracha sauce.
Right. Okay, we were gonna need this. Okay, so I'm going to just grab some additional ingredients.
Okay. And I would love to be able to help. So what we're going to be making, is that to go on top of
So
the
this
burger?
is going to be just a special sauce for our burgers.
Okay.
So I have some veganese.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I almost need your help on that one. And then I'm just gonna just give a little clump there.
Sure. So it doesn't need to be, there's no pre-measurement of this. This is just, again, according to taste.
According to taste. Got some sriracha, and then I also have a little bit of this chipotle ketchup.
Okay, great.
Can I have you help me open that?
Absolutely, I'll do that.
Great.
There we go.
And if you can just kind of get
Pour
a
a little
little
in
of
there.
that going.
I feel like one of the old ketchup commercials.
There we go. I see it coming. All right, great. That's perfect.
That's good? All right.
So this is going to give it a nice spicy kick.
And we would put this on as
These
a
are gonna-
condiment afterwards. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to.
Wow.
Ooh, I can smell the spice
Yeah.
from here. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to chop up some tomato and avocado. So I'm
Okay.
going to hand that over to you.
Great. I'm just going to make some space here.
Here, if you need that. I'm going to check on the burgers.
So how much of the tomato do you want me to chop?
Oh, as much as you feel like you want on your burger.
So do you want them in, do we chop these in fine little pieces?
How about into slices for like a traditional burger?
Got it. Okay.
Okay, and as those are cooking, I'm just going to add just a little bit more oil. Kind of make sure that it cooks all right.
Now for the avocado, how would we prepare the avocado? Is that ground into chunks, or we?
For the avocado, we're just going to slice it, and that way it goes onto our burger.
Okay. Don't forget there's the famous avocado nut in the center.
Not bad.
And then we're just going to slice it into wedges. This is how
Sure.
I was taught how to
Yeah.
cut an avocado. And then you can just scoop those out.
Great. That's probably all we need for our burgers just
Okay.
now. Okay. So the black bean burgers are just finishing up,
Okay.
and we'll just take a moment and let those finish, and we'll grab some plates so that we can make our burgers.
Sounds great. And we're back with a couple of plates. Burgers are looking very good.
All right. So the burgers are probably ready.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 buns and we'll put them onto our plates.
Now what buns have you selected today?
These are our whole wheat buns.
Right. But again, you know, you could be creative with the buns if there's a particular
Just
bun
start.
style, like an onion bun or something like that you would like. You could certainly substitute that.
Yeah. All right. So those are looking pretty good. We're going to,
Shall I bring you the plates?
I will bring them out to you guys. We're going to put our burgers on there.
Wow, they look great.
And now we're just going to add some of our condiments.
Okay, so if you're a tomato fan, put tomatoes on those. Maybe some avocado.
Are you brave enough to try the special sauce?
I'm very game.
All right.
So I'll lay some avocado on here. And you know, it does not take very long at all to prepare this. This is something that, you know, can be done pretty quickly. There.
All right. So we'll just sandwich those 2 together.
Fabulous. And there you have it.
There you have it.
Sarah Roller Kite's black bean veggie burgers.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for taking the time to show us how to make these. again, we can get creative with the ingredients. And where can they find this recipe?
So we'll be posting the recipe on the blog so you can follow along
All
at
right.
home.
Well, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Hope you all enjoyed this at home. This has been Sean Lowcock, your host, and thanks for tuning in to The Greener Good.
Organic Eats.
Organic Eats.